We've often spoken about the state of gambling in South Africa. The National Gambling Board saying that South Africans bet a whopping 1.1 trillion, with a T, trillion rand, between April 2023 and March 2024. It's a 25% year-on-year increase. And while betting has brought in something like, I think it's 4 billion rand when it comes to taxation, 1 trillion rand is what South Africans are spending their money on, whether it be casinos, online betting, bingos, slot machines. We do have the remote gambling bill currently before Parliament. It looks to regulate particularly the online gambling space. But there has been a piece of legislation that's been locked in stasis for the last 16 years. What are legislators in Parliament talking and thinking about when we talk about regulating the gambling sector in South Africa? Makashule Gana is the MP for Rise Mzansi. 1.2 trillion rand. In that respect, seemingly South Africans have a lot of money to burn. Makashule, good morning.
Good morning, Nathan. Good morning to the CapeTalk listeners. There is a lot of money that goes into gambling. It's becoming a problem in terms of the addiction, Lester, because what we say, that's why we've been at the forefront of calling for gambling reforms. The law that currently governs the gambling industry, they are outdated. We have the bill that has been sitting in Parliament, the National Gambling Amendment Bill that has been in Parliament since 2018. So it did pass the National Assembly, but then it starts in the National Council of Provinces, because the provinces, which are the license, they get to license the gambling, whether it's the casinos, whether it's sports betting, whether it's horse racing. They've been reluctant to approve that law, but things have moved on significantly. And that's why, as Rise Mzansi, we are calling for some significant reforms that will look at both the taxation side of things, because we believe that gambling should attract similar sin taxes as alcohol and tobacco, given its negative effects in society, especially when people are addicted to gambling. But some of the figures, Lester, that the National Gambling Board has released for the 2023-2024, if you start looking at where the growth actually is, it's around sports betting. And in many communities, both online, but also there are physical outlets that people go in and place bets. So we are seeing a lot more people being addicted to gambling, which in itself causes health concerns, and we have to do something about it, because we don't believe, as Rise Mzansi, that we can gamble our way as a country to prosperity.
Should the process be, and we'll talk about the regulation of particularly the online sector in a short while, but should the purpose of this bill to try and wean South Africans from seemingly what is a gambling addiction, or for the South African state to get more bang for its buck, to go to South African service? So South Africans spent 1.1 trillion rand. The gambling industry made something like 36 billion rand, but the South African government...
They made 59 billion.
59 billion.
8 billion.
But the way I read it is that tax and levies only amounted to 4.8 billion for the last financial year. So there's a lot of money in this industry, but the South African state, in terms of taxes and levies, it seems minuscule.
It is very minuscule. It's only 8% of the gross gambling revenue that the gambling industry pays as taxes and levies. And that's why we are calling for an introduction of a sin tax that will get more revenue from gambling, because when people are addicted to gambling, they then become a burden to the health sector, because they need to be rehabilitated. Now, if the taxes for the damage that the gambling does to society is sitting at 8%, we believe it's inadequate, because it will not cover the extent of the damage that is being done. And when people are addicted to gambling, Lester, it's also a cost to the economy itself, because you will find that someone, whether it's a teacher, a nurse, it could be a miner, a radio presenter, it doesn't matter. Because of their addiction, they spend a significant amount of their time on their phone gambling, which means that the productive capacity of South Africans gets reduced. So this damage that is caused to society, we are saying that gambling companies must pay for it. It's not enough that we only, from the 60 billion that is made that is made in a year, we only get to get 5 billion. It's not enough.
Makashule Gana, I have to relieve it, the MP and organiser for Rise Mzansi. He represents the party in the National Assembly.